Okay, so I hope you have all revised the points that we studied till now. So now we'll continue further. So the majority of the important topics are done in bacteriology. Then the next organism is going to be the next organism we are going to deal with is Serratia. Am I audible now? Can everyone hear me? Yes, good. So we're going to deal with Serratia. Serratia grows on nutrient agar. The morphology is mucoid colonies. It causes disease, that is UTI, pneumonia, kidney stones. So just remember, Serratia means mucoid colonies. Only this one point I want you to remember in Serratia. Then comes Proteus. Proteus means it grows in McConkie agar. It forms something called swarming motility and dying phenomena. That is the morphology. And the disease is UTI, kidney stone, and septicemia. So Proteus is very important. Proteus causes UTI. Proteus causes UTI with alkaline urine. So Proteus causes UTI with alkaline urine. So usually urinary tract infection occur with acidic urine all the time, but only this infection causes alkaline urine. So this is a very important MCQ. Proteus causes alkaline urine. So it causes kidney stones, that is called as triple phosphate stones or struvite stones. Struvite stones. That is a MCQ again. Highly important, highly repeated MCQ. Struvite stones or triple phosphate stones. Triple phosphate stones or struvite stones. And it can also cause septicemia. So Proteus means you have to remember swarming motility. You have to remember struvite stones. You have to remember alkaline urine, and McConkie agar. Okay, so swarming motility, septicemia, swarming motility, struvite stones, alkaline urine. Okay, and then MS for McConkie agar, and dying phenomena, and dying phenomena. So for this, I would like to give a mnemonic. So Proteus looks like a catchy name. So we can think that Proteus is a king. So Proteus goes to war. Proteus goes to war to get Diana. Proteus goes to war to get Diana. So war is swarming motility. Diana is dying phenomena. Diana is wife of MacDonald. You can remember this. Diana is wife of MacDonald. So McConkie agar. Diana is wife of McConkie agar. So wife of McConkie or MacDonald. So McConkie agar. So Proteus. War is for swarming motility. Diana is for dying phenomena. Wife of MacDonald. So McConkie agar. McConkie agar. So you can remember this very well. Okay. Then the next one is Vibrio cholera. So Vibrio cholera. So Vibrio cholera causes cholera. So we see darting motility and yellow colonies. Alkaline peptone water is used as media, or bile salt agar, or TCBS agar, TCBS media, VR media, Cariblar media. This many media are there. All of them are highly repeated. TCBS came in 2014, VR media came in 2014 and 15, Cariblar last year also it came. So this entire media from Vibrio cholerae is a must and must to memorize. Regarding Proteus, these points are important to memorize. Regarding Vibrio cholera, these media points are important to memorize. So regarding the morphology, darting motility is seen in Vibrio cholera. Darting motility is seen. Okay. So cholera means patient will have lot of stools. That stool will look as rice water stool, rice water diarrhea, rice water diarrhea. Cholera is a community problem. So it's a public health problem. So you're going to inform the community. So that is very important. So you're not only going to treat the patient, you're going to treat the community as well. So doxycycline is going to be the prevention also. Doxycycline is going to be the treatment also. Both prevention and treatment for cholera is doxycycline. So these points are highly important. Okay. Someone's microphone is on. Please turn it off. Okay. The next one is Vibrio parahemolyticus. This shows green colonies in TCBS media. It causes seafood diarrhea, which is self-limiting. So all you need to know in Vibrio parahemolyticus is only one point: seafood diarrhea. That's it. Vibrio parahemolyticus. The person eats seafood and has diarrhea. It's Vibrio parahemolyticus. Next is H influenza. H influenza means you have to remember chocolate agar. That's very important. You have to remember satellite phenomena. That is the appearance satellite phenomena. The satellite means grows on sides of the medium. The satellite phenomena. Then it causes pneumonia, bronchitis, otitis media, epiglottitis, bronchitis in COPD patients. H influenza is responsible for everything. Okay, so you must remember epiglottitis, highly repeated MCQ, is caused by H influenza. There is a condition called croup. It is caused by para-influenza. Para-influenza. Epiglottitis is caused by H influenza. Croup is caused by para-influenza. Okay, this point you must remember in comparison. This is very important. Okay. The next one is Klebsiella. The next one is Klebsiella. So Klebsiella means McConkey agar is used. So Russell body and Mikulicz cells are seen. Catheter associated UTI, meningitis, sepsis, and rhinoscleroma. So these are the conditions that are caused by this Klebsiella. So Klebsiella means you have to remember it is one of the most common infections causing UTI. Always and always you should remember Klebsiella means UTI. So catheter associated UTI means Klebsiella mostly. Okay, but Klebsiella can also cause meningitis. It can also cause something called rhinoscleroma. So you need to remember these words, that is Russell bodies and Mikulicz cell. Russell body and Mikulicz cell. Okay. So to remember this Klebsiella, I would like to give a picture. So you can remember Klebsiella, you can remember a person who is standing here. He has a rhino-like nose. This guy is having a rhino-like nose. And this guy is, in one hand, he's having a plate in which there is a club sandwich. Okay, so Klebsiella, Klebsiella, rhino, so rhino scleroma, it causes rhinoscleroma. The name of this person is Russell. The name of this person is Russell, one of the famous cricketer. So Russell, having a nose like this, is having a club sandwich. So this guy, while this guy has a catheter passed. So this guy has a catheter passed. This is a catheter bag. So catheter associated UTI. You must remember catheter associated UTI. Okay. One hand he's having a club sandwich. In another hand, he's holding a mic and he's singing. He's holding a mic and is singing. So you can remember mic. That is Mikulicz cell. So Mikulicz cell, Russell body, catheter associated UTI, rhinoscleroma. So these are very important. Okay, the club sandwich that he is having is of McDonald. So McDonald club sandwich. So McDonald club sandwich, that is McConkey agar. McDonald club sandwich, that is McConkey agar. So if you remember this picture, you will be able to make out the Klebsiella. Russell, Mike, McDonald club sandwich, that is McConkey agar, catheter associated UTI, and rhinoscleroma. Rhinoscleroma. I hope this picture will be helpful for you to crack this Klebsiella MCQ. Am I clear till now? Everyone? So question that is raised is Vibrio drug of choice, tetracycline, doxycycline, both means the same. Because the most common tetracycline that we are giving is doxycycline. So if you find tetracycline alone in your MCQ, you can answer tetracycline. Otherwise, you can go for doxycycline. That's why I said we are not going to talk. We are not going to talk about the drug of choice now because I have already given the drug of choice yesterday. Okay. So the next one is H influenza. Oh, sorry. We are done, right? Bordetella pertussis. So Bordetella pertussis, bordered Gengu media is used. Bisected pearl appearance. It causes pertussis. Okay. And aluminium paint appearance. So you need to remember Bordetella pertussis. So B and P. B is for bordered Gengu media. B and P is for bisected pearl. P is for paint, aluminium paint. So the Bordetella pertussis, the name itself is the mnemonic. B and P is the mnemonic. I repeat, B is for bordered Gengu media. BP is for bisected pearl. P is for paint, that is aluminium paint appearance. So the name is the mnemonic. Okay. Now the next one is Brucella. So Brucella, TSA or SDA media is used. Tbilisi Faj is the morphology. It causes something called Andolan fever. So I don't want to give a mnemonic here. You can directly read it. So Yersinia pestis, ghee broth is the media. Stalactite growth or safety pin appearance is seen. It causes something called plague, that is Black Death. So this is also an older type question. On 2014 stalactite growth and safety pin appearance. So 2014 MCQs. I think one of them is 2014 MCQ. Ghee broth is also I think something around 2014 and 15. So this is important. Okay. Next is Legionella. Legionella means BCYE media is used. Red or rod or cockey with 1 to 3 lateral flagella. Self-limiting Pontiac fever and pneumonia. So Legionella means I want you to remember L and L. L is for lateral flagella. Legionella means lateral flagella. Legionella means limiting fever, limiting Pontiac fever. So limiting Pontiac fever. Okay, that is very important. Also, Legionella causes pneumonia. Legionella causes pneumonia. Next is Bartonella hensale. It causes biphasic media, blood agar or chocolate agar is used, mostly blood agar. Chocolate agar you can forget here. Slightly curved bacilli. It causes bacillary angiomatosis or cat scratch fever. So Bartonella hensale, you have to remember B and C. C is for curved bacilli, CB, curved bacilli. C is for cat scratch fever, cat scratch fever. B is for biphasic media and blood agar. Biphasic media and blood agar. Biphasic media and blood agar. So since it is biphasic media, for Bartonella hensale, we can remember B, B and C. So the BBC News, you can remember the channel. So BBC, that news you can remember. So Bartonella hensale. Next is Borrelia burgdorferi. Borrelia burgdorferi means Kelly's media is used. Helical shaped spirochete, and it causes something called Lyme disease. Borrelia burgdorferi causes Lyme disease. Kelly's media, Lyme disease. Okay, and helical shaped spirochete. Borrelia burgdorferi. Next is Helicobacter pylori, H. pylori. H. pylori. So this causes gastritis most commonly or stomach cancer. So Campylobacter media is used or chocolate agar is used. Helical or spiral shaped with 6 to 8 flagella at one end. So H. pylori is most probably you will get H. pylori as a patho question or a medicine question, not in microbiology most probably. So for 1 point, if you need to remember in H. pylori here is only Campylobacter media. So H. pylori goes hand in hand with Campylobacter jejuni, C. jejuni. Okay. Next is Mycobacterium TB and Mycobacterium leprae. So TB means LJ media is used. Leprae means footpad of mice is used. TB means rough buff colonies. Leprae means cigar bundle, that is called as globi arrangements. So arranged like a cigarette bundle, that is called globi. So MTB causes tuberculosis. M. leprae causes leprosy. Leprosy is also called as Hansen disease. Leprosy is also called as Hansen disease. That is the MCQ. Okay, the next is rickettsia. Rickettsia is very important. Rickettsia, the first important MCQ that you often get is tetracycline. So rickettsia is a huge topic. A lot of different types of rickettsia are there. So I cannot discuss all the types right now. So typhus, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Q fever are one of the things that you need to know. I don't think so you'll be getting this monoclonal cell lines or rod ship bacteria. So rickettsia, maybe if time permits, at last I'll teach this rickettsia separately. So make a note of it. At last, if I get time, I'll get to teach it. Next is Leptospira. Leptospira means suet media and Fletcher media are used. Thread-like appearance is the appearance. Leptospirosis or Weil's disease is what it causes. Leptospira, you have to remember R and R. Rice paddy fields, rat, and rain. So rain exposure, rats, urine, and rice paddy fields. So these three things are present means if you step on them, you're going to get leptospirosis. So what happens here is platelet count drops, low platelet, thrombocytopenia. So 2T is very important. One is thrombocytopenia, another is thread-like appearance. So 3R and 2T is very important. Thrombocytopenia, thread-like appearance. Okay, Stewart media, Fletcher media are used. So as long as microbiology is concerned, you need to remember the media, Stewart media and Fletcher media. That is very important. And thread-like appearance. Next is Chlamydia trachomatis. McCoy cell line is used. So you see elementary bodies, McCoy cell lines, elementary bodies. So it causes chlamydia, urethritis, LGB, trachoma, and pelvic inflammatory disease, where trachoma is very important for MCQ. Trachoma is very important for MCQ. Next is ureaplasma urealyticum. Differential agar is used. T form of mycoplasma is the shape. Urethritis, prostatitis, and renal calculi are the problems that is being caused. Then next is Mycoplasma pneumoniae, Eaton's agar. It is also called as Eaton's agar. It is also called as Eaton's agent because we use Eaton's agar. Fried egg colonies are seen. It causes pneumonia. So Mycoplasma pneumonia, Eaton's agar, fried egg colonies. So a simple mnemonic you can remember is Mike eats fried egg. Mike eats fried egg, and then he cough. He eats fried egg and then he cough. So Mike is for Mycoplasma pneumoniae. Eats is for Eaton's agar or Eaton's agent. Fried egg is fried egg colonies. He coughs, so he's having pneumonia. He coughs, he's having pneumonia. So this mnemonic you can remember Mycoplasma pneumonia. Next is Gardnerella vaginalis. KOH mount is used. Clue cells are seen. It causes something called bacterial vaginosis. Okay, Gardnerella vaginalis, KOH mount is used. Clue cells are seen. Bacterial vaginosis is caused. Whiff test is performed. Whiff test, WHIFF. Whiff test is performed. Okay, so the mnemonic I'm going to give for Gardnerella vaginalis is we care about Great Kali. If you remember Kali, Great Kali, he's a wrestler. So we care about Great Kali. So V stands for vaginosis. V stands for whiff test. CARE stands for clue cells. Great Kali. G stands for Gardnerella. Kali. K stands for KOH mount. We care Great Kali. We care Great Kali. So this is a mnemonic I'm going to say. Then the last topic that is going to be from bacteriology is going to be the spirochete, that is syphilis. It is caused by Trypanosoma pallidum. So this can be, there are different stages: primary, secondary, latent, tertiary, and neurosyphilis, and also congenital syphilis. So primary means painless ulcer in perianal area or in genitalia or anywhere actually. Painless lymphadenopathy. So ulcer is painless, lymphadenopathy is painless in primary. So that is the first point you need to know. Okay, the painless ulcer is called as chancre. The painless ulcer is called as chancre. Then on secondary stage, you will see a maculopapular skin rash. That is very important. And painless lymphadenopathy. Painless lymphadenopathy with a rash. Painless lymphadenopathy with a rash. That is very important. Along with that, you get something called condyloma lata. Condyloma lata. So these 3 points, if you remember, you will be able to quickly diagnose secondary stage of syphilis in your examination. Only most probably 90% only these 3 words will be given in your exam. So condyloma lata, painless lymphadenopathy, and a rash, maculopapular skin rash. Then comes latent. Latent means there is going to be no physical signs at all, so you cannot find it out. So latent can be early and late. Less than 1 year means early. Late means more than 1 year. So latent means you cannot find out anything. So only the serological test when you do, that will be positive. Only by serological test you can check. Okay. Then comes tertiary. Tertiary means a formation of something called gamma, so which can be seen in skin, bone, and liver. It can be seen in heart, Iotitis, aneurysm, aortic regurgitation can be seen in brain. A lot of problems it can cause. So CSF evaluation is recommended in all patients because the worst problem is CNS, and the echo should be performed in all patients. So both CSF examination and echo. So lumbar puncture plus echo, these two are must for tertiary syphilis. So you're not going to get a question from this. So all you need to know, tertiary syphilis means one word you need to know means it should be gamma. So all these points are covered in that. Iotitis, aneurysm, aortic regurgitation, so everything. So gamma is a single word I want you to remember for tertiary syphilis. Next is neurosyphilis. Neuro means CSF evaluation is needed. Okay, CSF evaluation is needed in neurosyphilis. So I repeat, this is important. Primary means painless ulcer, painless lymphadenopathy. Secondary means rash, painless lymphadenopathy, condyloma lata. Latent means no sign. So, serological test is the only way in latent. Tertiary means gamma. Neurosyphilis means CSF evaluation. So, in tertiary, echo and lumbar puncture, CSF, echo plus CSF evaluation, echo plus CSF evaluation. In neurosyphilis, CSF evaluation. So, where actually you can get positive serological test is when it crosses the primary. Almost all the time you are going to get positive serology till almost the tertiary. Okay, but for your MCQ, if they are saying positive serology test, they are talking about either secondary or latent. Just remember this, secondary or latent. So see if there is any symptoms. If there are symptoms, go for secondary. If there are no symptoms or no physical signs, you have to go for latent for your MCQ diagnosis. I repeat, they are saying positive blood test for syphilis, but patient is having no symptoms, which means, or no physical signs, which means they are talking about latent syphilis. Positive serological blood test, patient is having symptoms, or you are able to find out something from the patient, which means you have to go for secondary syphilis. So in MCQ, when they are talking about positive serological test, don't think about primary. There's my point. Am I clear in this topic? Because syphilis is very important. Am I clear? Okay, good. So this ends our bacteriology. So what are all the motilities we have seen? We will see. So these are not from bacteria. Okay. So we saw swarming motility, which is Proteus, darting motility, which is Vibrio cholerae, tumbling motility, I said that is Listeria. So what we missed is the other. So Vibrio is shooting star motility. Vibrio is shooting star motility or darting motility. So I made it separately because Campylobacter is also darting motility. Corkscrew motility is Trypanosoma pallidum. Corkscrew motility is T. pallidum. Spinning motility is Fusobacterium. The only question you can expect from Fusobacterium is going to be spinning motility. Gliding motility is seen in either Mycoplasma or Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Stately motility is seen in Clostridia. Lashing motility is seen in Borrelia. Out of which the most important one is swarming, dartling, tumbling, shooting star. Only these four are most important in them: swarming, darting, tumbling, shooting star. At least if you know only these four types of motility, you should be fine enough in your exam. So I can't say that the other type of motility is not going to come in your exam, but almost 90% of the time there is no chance for getting the other type of motilities. So at least these four you must memorize. So everything is here. Memorizing everything will definitely help in your exam. But those who don't have time, at least these four you should go for. I repeat: darting, swarming, tumbling, and shooting star. So these four. Okay. So this ends our bacteriology. So we're going to start with mycology. Before starting, I would like to clarify once again, am I clear till now? Is everyone clear? So will you be able to crack all the questions from bacteriology? So if you see, hardly it should take 1 hour for you for reading this entire bacteriology with all the mnemonics I gave. So there should be no chance of missing any question from bacteriology, and there should be no chance of forgetting any point from bacteriology. So almost for every topic in bacteriology, I have made drawings for you. I have made special mnemonics for you so that memorization should not be an issue. So if you see in this entire microbiology, the most important topics are going to be this bacteriology and immune system. So if you get, for example, 15 questions, almost 10 questions will come from this topic alone. So bacteriology, I will consider the basic microbiology also. So all this will comprise almost 10 questions. The rest 5 questions will focus on most probably 2 questions you might be getting from so virology, 1 question most probably, 1 question you can get from fungi, and 2 or 3 questions probably you might be getting from parasitology. So this is how the distribution usually is for this many years. So after these topics, the important topic is going to be parasites. The fungi and mycology we can go very fast because hardly 1 or 2 questions you'll be getting from that. So bacteriology, I don't want you to miss till now. Whatever you have covered, you are ready for 10 marks. If you memorize this very well along with your notes, you should be covering 10 out of 10. Am I clear? Okay, good. Can we start with mycology now? Okay. So mycology is a very small topic. It's only 2 pages in QRS. So before going here, I provide a broad idea for mycology. Okay. So this is the complete mycology notes that you need to know. So quickly we will go. So fungi, mycology is study of fungi. So the fungi is classified based on either how it is, so that's a morphology, and based on what it does, that is spore formation, and based on where it is present, based on location. So these 3 things will divide them to a lot of categories. So I'm not going to read out the names in that. That is up to you to read and memorize. So the commonest MCQ falls under this dimorphic fungi. That's what I want to say. This dimorphic fungi, they might ask these name of these organisms: histoplasmosis, coccidioidomycosis, paracoccidiomycosis, blastomycosis, sporotrichosis, penicillosis. So all of them are dimorphic fungi. So this point is highly stressed in your examination in this entire topic. Okay. So this is very important. Then the next important point is this deep systemic. So this deep systemic involves all these dimorphic fungi except one thing, that is this sporotrichosis. So all these dimorphic fungi can cause deep systemic infection except sporotrichosis. This is a high yield information that you need to know. So along with that, Candida and Cryptococcus can cause deep systemic infection. You need to know sporotrichosis is not involved in deep systemic infection. So that point will stand high in your examination. I hope you're all clear with this point. Okay. So once again, Once again, roughly speaking, so fungi are classified based on morphology as per yeast-like, molds, dimorphic. Based on spore formation, they can be zygo, asco, basidio, deutero, or phycomycetes, or asexual spore forming. These list is very important. Then based on location, there could be superficial, that is called as dermatophyton. So this dermatophyton is important for your MCQ. They can be subcutaneous, they can be deep systemic. Okay. Now, so fungus, same like bacteria, fungus also has a culture media, but one culture media is almost enough for all the fungus. That is SDA agar, Sabot dextrose agar. So you don't have to memorize almost anything here. So SDA agar works at a pH of 5.6. So if you know this point, that should be fine enough. Then comes the stains. So we use hardly these 7 types of stains for the entire fungi. So the first is PAS stain, next is GMS stain, next is LPCB mount, H&E, hematoxylin and eosin, calcofluor white, India ink, muciramine. So only these are used. So I don't want to read out the organisms names now. So I want you to know only 7 types of stains are there. So you don't have much points to memorize here. So that is the next point I'm saying. Then you need to know this MCQ, fungi that cannot be cultured. Rhinosporidium or Pneumocystis jirovecii. This cannot be cultured. So this point I want you to make a note. Fungi that cannot be cultured is Rhinosporidium or Pneumocystis jirovecii. Everyone, please make a note of it. Then the next MCQ is temperature needed for good growth. 25 to 30 degrees Celsius is almost needed for every fungi. There's one exception, Aspergillus fumigatus. It grows better at 50 degrees Celsius. Aspergillus grows better at 50 degrees Celsius. Normally 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, Aspergillus fumigatus grows at 50 degrees Celsius. Only these 2 points are important. So deep systemic infection means it has to go and affect your systems. So of course, all the fungi needs the normal room temperature for them to grow, 37 degrees Celsius. But I want you to remember only these 2 points. Temperature needed for good growth, 25 to 30. Aspergillus fumigatus grows better on 50. Okay. So then comes the fungal infections. The first one is pityriasis versicolor or Tinea versicolor. So this actually causes skin infection, which causes hyper and hypopigmented. Here is a picture which shows hypopigmented lesion, hypopigmented here, hypopigmentation. This is a normal skin pigment you can see here. So the normal skin pigment. So this area is low pigmentation. So hypopigmentation. I'll erase so you can see clearly. So this is hypopigmented area. So we use KOH mount here. So pityriasis versicolor. It is caused by a fungi called as Malassezia furfur. That is MCQ, Malassezia furfur. Fried egg colony, urease positive. SDA grows on SDA agar. Okay. So the basic intro I have given. From now on, I think I'll show you the QRS book contents. So that will be very fast. Okay. So okay. So we talked about pityriasis versicolor. So we did not cover that here. So that's why I specifically told it that notes. Okay. So to start with the other points, we will start with Cryptococcus neoformans. Cryptococcus neoformans is a yeast-like, it forms yeast-like colonies mucoid or slimy in appearance. Red or orange or yellow carotenoid pigments are present. It causes a disease called cryptococcosis. It causes meningitis or encephalitis in AIDS patients, that means low immunity patients. And it produces soap bubble lesion in brain. So Cryptococcus neoformans means you have to remember a thin patient who is having AIDS, and having a soap bubble lesion in brain. Soap bubble lesion in brain. So the brain is affected. So obviously meningitis or encephalitis, AIDS patient. So if you remember that, that's fine. So he's a slim person. So slimy appearance, soap bubble lesion in brain, meningitis, encephalitis in AIDS patient. If you know this, you're done with Cryptococcus neoformans. Next is Candida albicans. So Candida albicans causes something called candidiasis. It could be oral, esophageal, genital, skin, or systemic, any candidiasis. So we have white to cream colored smooth yeast-like colonies and spherical to subspherical budding blastoconidia or seen. So most probably you won't get this Candida albicans. Only point you need to know, oral, esophageal, genital candidiasis. So you might be asked for either the drug of choice or you might be given a picture for Candida. So it's mostly a picture based question. You need to be clear. So you might get esophageal or oral lesions, and they might ask you candidiasis. Next is Histoplasma capsulatum. It is a dimorphic fungi with no true capsule, that is MCQ. Spores with tubercles are seen. Histoplasmosis causes a disease which mimics tuberculosis. That is a very important MCQ, by causing caseation necrosis. So it mimics the tuberculosis. It can cause fever with hepatosplenomegaly in immunocompromised patients. Fever with hepatosplenomegaly in immunocompromised patients. So Histoplasma capsulatum, you must remember, it mimics TB. That is very important. Okay. Histoplasma capsulatum, you can see something called tuberculate macroconidia. Very important, highly repeated MCQ. Tuberculate macroconidia is seen, that is finger-like projection. So tuberculate macroconidia, that is the appearance. So spores with tubercles, tuberculate macroconidia is seen. Next is coccoidioids. It is barrel-shaped arthrospores. Spherule, you can see filled with endospores. Spherule filled with endospores are seen. So which means in this you can see endospores inside. It causes something called desert rheumatism or San Juan Valley fever. Desert rheumatism or San Juan Valley fever. It can cause, other than rheumatism, it can cause a respiratory infection also. So coccoidioids, you need to remember San Juan Valley fever or desert rheumatism. So till now whatever we studied, we are going to revise. Cryptococcus, you must remember AIDS patients. Cryptococcus AIDS patients. Candida, you must remember oral or esophageal picture. Histoplasma, you must remember two words. One is two words which is going to be T. T and T. The first T is tuberculate macroconidia. The second T is TB. Histoplasma mimics TB. Next is coccoidio. Coccoidioids, you have to remember desert rheumatism. You have to remember desert. These are the four words that you must remember till now. Okay. Then going for Paracoccoidus brasiliensis. Mickey Mouse or pilot wheel appearance is seen. It's also called as Lutz disease or South American mycosis. Mickey Mouse, South American mycosis, Lutz disease. These are the two words you need to know about this. So paracoccoideo, you need to remember a Mickey Mouse shape. Then blastomyces, it causes blastomycosis, which is also called as North American disease or Gilchrist disease. So Gilchrist is a player, cricket player. So blastomycosis shows something called splendor Hopley phenomena, and it appears as figure of 8. So blastomyces, you need to remember Gilchrist blast. So when a normal person hits, it can maximum go for a 6, but when Gilchrist hit, it can go for a 8. So people will say hooray, or people can have hope on the game. People can have hope on the game. So Hopley phenomena, splendor Hopley phenomena, because when you hit a 8, it is going to be a splendid shot. So splendor Hopley phenomena is seen. So blastomycosis, Gilchrist disease, figure of 8 appearance, and everyone will have hope. The crowd will have hope. So splendor Hopley phenomena, these are seen. The same splendor Hopley phenomena is also seen in the next one, that is sporothrix. Sporothrix, they also show splendor Hopley phenomena. They are flower-like spores. Cigar-shaped asteroid bodies are seen. It's also called as Rose Gardner's disease. It affects lungs, or it can enter the blood disseminated, or it can enter the brain. It can cause meningitis. So sporothrix, Schenke, those who are walking on barefoot in Himalayas, they will get this problem. So I want you to remember the Himalaya mountain, a saint who is walking in barefoot. Here there is a rose garden. I don't know how to draw a rose properly. So a rose garden. He is walking in his barefoot. So you need to remember barefoot in Himalayas. He is having a thorn that is pricked his leg. So thorn prick. So rose Gardner's disease. Flowers, you can see flower like spores. This Babaji is having a cigarette. He's having a cigarette. He's relaxed and he's walking about. So this cigarette, you can think cigar shaped bodies. Okay, so he is having a hope that he can climb this mountain. So hope, splendor Hopley phenomena. So all these points can be covered from this small image. Till now, am I clear? Yes, good. The next one is penicillium. Penicillium means brick red pigment is seen. Thermal dimorphism is seen. Sausage-shaped cells with transverse septa is seen. It causes penicilliosis. So penicillium means, I want you to remember S and T. S is for sausage-shaped cells. T is for thermal dimorphism. And ST is for septa, which is transverse. ST is for septa, which is transverse. If you see, I wrote this in red color. So you must remember, I mentioned inside a box. So you should remember this is a brick. So brick red pigment. Brick red pigment. So brick red pigment in which S and I are written, S and T are written. So it is transverse septa, sausage shaped cells. Okay, T is also for thermal dimorphism. The next one is Rhizopus. Rhizopus causes something called rhinozygomatosis. Then mucor causes mucormycosis. Then we have Absidia. Sorry for the error. Here amphotericin B is printed again. So mucor causes mucormycosis. Okay. So all you need to know here is all these three are aseptate hyphae and all these three are wide angle 120 degrees. And all these three have same drug of choice. Then Rhinosporidium seaberry. You can see sporangium filled with endospores. It causes rhinosporidiosis. Rhino means nose. So remember, rhino means strawberry polyp in nose. So in another word, nasal polyp. Nasal polyp. So the best treatment is going to be polypectomy, not the drug. Drug of choice is dapsone, but removing the polyp is the best treatment. So rhino means nose. So you have to remember nasal polyps. Nasal polyps. So rhinosporidium, nasal polyps. Next is chromoblastomycosis. You must remember it is chromoblasto. So chromo means copper. Remember copper. So it is brown color. So brown globose bodies. So brown globose body, copper penny appearance, muriform cell appearance, medullary body, sclerotic body, everything. That's it. That is chromoblastomycosis. Next is Malassezia furfur. Spaghetti and meatball appearance is seen. Banana and grape appearance is seen. Fried egg colonies are seen. Golden yellow fluorescence. So this Malassezia furfur is the first one we discussed. That is Pityriasis versicolor. Pityriasis versicolor. All these are important. Next is Pneumocystis carinii. This is the last one here. It causes crushed ping pong balls appearance or deflated tennis ball appearance. It causes pneumonia in persons with HIV. So Pneumocystis carinii or Pneumocystis jirovecii causes pneumonia in HIV patients. Pneumonia in HIV patients. So last take home point from this is Pneumocystis carinii PCP causes pneumonia in HIV patient. And the first one, which is Cryptococcus neoformans, it causes meningitis in HIV patients. Meningitis in HIV patients. This is the take home point from mycology. Final 2 points where you must remember these 2 points when you are entering the exam hall. This is must and often repeated MCQ. So this finishes our mycology.